following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
On this episode of the Panthers Huddle, Dave Canales joins us to reflect on his first training camp as a head coach and turns his sights on the first team opponent, the New Orleans Saints.
All right, welcome back inside the huddle. I'm Darin Gantt, Thomas Davis. You know this guy, Panthers head coach Dave Canales. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. This has got to be one of the most unique months of the year, especially as a first-time head coach. You're coming out of training camp, final cuts, everything that goes into that. What have you learned about this team over the last couple of weeks as it's finally in what approaches its final form going into the opener?
They're a little bit of a serious group, and they find their moments to laugh and to cut up, but generally speaking, these guys want to know. They're into the information. We keep our team meetings pretty tight, pretty quick, so we can get off and get to the X's and O's, and they really like that. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from our guys, just talking about the way that we kind of get right to the point of stuff. Here's where we need to improve, get to the meeting rooms, work on it. And so, yeah, just kind of learning that about this group, a tough group, professionalism. They know how to practice. They treat each other with respect in the locker room. Just around the building, I kind of observed a group that has a really high character from a football standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint.
You said that's something you picked up from Dom Capers, that let's keep it out of the big group meeting and let's get it down to the granular level and work on the football.
Yeah, he really just talked about getting this program off the ground, and I love hearing the stories and really building it from a X's and O's standpoint. He was like, can we get good at a few things? We're going to run the ball. We're going to play great defense. And we're going to run like crazy on special teams, and that's what I believe in. That's the model that I've seen work, the model that we've played against for years, TD, the teams that were the best of where you guys were. You could run the ball, you guys played great defense, and you guys ran like crazy man on special teams, and it's a recipe for a really hard-to-beat football team. So we're hoping to try to make it about that.
Most of the really good football teams are capable of doing just that, capable of running the football, controlling the game, and capable of stopping people defensively. So I love the formula. But I want to know, what are some of the things that, being a first-year head coach, that you had to really dive in on, in particular, one thing being with making the decision on whether or whether not to play the starters in the preseason. And I know we got to see those guys in the last preseason game, but what went into that decision on playing them versus not playing them?
I would say the biggest factor with that was, do I feel good enough about where we're at with our systems, our communication, the pre-snap motions, all the different things that come into like having a really crisp feel. And I knew it was going to take time. We do some things formationally, defensively with our adjustments to motion and all those things. Like, I wanted to make sure that we had a really clean version of football. It was really important to me to get the guys out there where we felt confident, comfortable to play fast. I didn't want to go out there and just like, hey, let's just kind of work our way into this thing. That was kind of an important thing for me, I wanted our guys to feel confident in the coaching staff and the schemes and things that we were bringing. A little bit different for the defensive guys. I also didn't want to split it up and say, well, defense is ready to roll. Offense, we got a little work to do. Let's just put them both out there. Or let's not put one group and the other out there. I just wanted it to be all together. And that's why it was like for those weeks, it was like kind of evaluating the strength of our team. We had a couple of guys have injuries. I wanted to try to get a few guys back so we can have a better look at what we looked like full health, So some of those factors all went into it. Because I was always fighting the old school mentality, TD. Just go play ball. First game, play a drive or two. Second game, play 2 quarters, maybe come out of the half. Third game, start it off, get a drive or two and get them out. That's my mentality. And I just felt like in this moment, we put our brains together and decided to do the preseason the way we did.
From a fan perspective, sitting back and watching, I absolutely love the decision because you can see the way the players responded. You go out, you play against a team like Buffalo, who we're very familiar with Coach McDermott and his staff. We know how well coached those guys are, and I love the way that we went out, executed in all 3 phases of the football game.
Dave, you talk about building those relationships. The best way to see some of that stuff, I think, is some of that mic'd up footage we got during training camp. We got some of the best of it up here. Check this out, the Bojangles Rewind.
Kind of crazy. They follow me over. Gotta watch what I say. I could say that's invading privacy though, but then I gave out permission, so it's not invading privacy.
I don't know. Like, you mic'd up? Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm trying to see if I see that or not.
You mic'd up? Did they tell you mic'd up?
Yeah, I'm mic'd up then.
Hey,
I'm telling you. Bro, I've been telling everybody, bro.
Everybody, the whole office.
Talking to the camera today too. That's a big fine.
I wasn't talking to the camera.
Yeah, you was. I saw you over there.
Here we go, JT. Best day of your life today. Yes, sir, Coach. All it is.
Hey man, turn that out. Ah!
You're the engine to this thing. I got you, you got me. I got you, brother.
Let's get it. Here we go, boys. Here we go, boys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That'd be great, eh?
I'll do it, baby.
Yep. Rob, nobody touched the quarterback.
Hey, here we go,
NFL
man.
head coach.
Come on.
What a blessing.
God is good.
Praise God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good catch. Yeah, that's a dot.
Yeah, boy!
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Go. Got him. Hey, hey, talk to me. Let's go, Sid.
Get out, find work, find work, find work, find work.
Oh, got him. Hey, other way. Ah, damn. Hey, look at this. Hey, man. Hey,
follow you to the crib.
hey, right follow me home.
Coming up, Coach Canales does a deep dive into this week's opponent, the New Orleans Saints.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
All right, welcome back to the Huddle. Thomas Davis, Darin Gantt, Dave Canales. Dave, it's been a long time since Carson High School. You're now a first-time head coach going into that first game. As you think back over this journey, what's this week been like for you and your family, just kind of thinking about where you were then at Carson, where you are now as head coach of the Carolina Panthers?
A lot of familiar excitement. For me, it was the world. Coaching those 14-year-olds at Carson High School, it was everything to me. I couldn't sleep the night before the game. You know, I'd be up at Super Kmart pacing the aisles, and that's real stories. My wife, Lizzie, will attest to that. And I feel that same excitement going into this week. This has been like, what a gift. The joy that I get to do this for a living. The joy that I get to pursue my professional dreams with a bunch of guys that I love doing it with, guys that I've worked with in the past in different spots, and a bunch of new faces that I'm getting to know. What fires me up is I know there's going to be struggles. I know there's going to be challenges. And that excites me. Entering into these issues and challenges and working together to find solutions. It's a part of our culture. Be a part of a solution, not an excuse. Can we all get back to the basics of it, and can we find solutions together, all together, no finger pointing, but taking the next step.
You mentioned a lot of familiar faces and getting to know people here. You've at least got the benefit of playing a familiar opponent in the opener. New Orleans team you got to see twice last year when you were with the Bucs. As you go into this game, and drill down from the thematic stuff of putting a team together in training camp to getting real specific on the Saints, what are the one or two top line things you're looking at this week?
Well, first and foremost, just Dennis Allen as the head coach, but then also as the defensive coordinator. I've always had a great amount of respect for him and his ability to just keep the offense guessing and stay off bounds. He's meticulous with the way that he goes through the rhythms of his calls, so you can't quite catch a beat on what he's doing. High respect for them and what they've done in the offseason to put themselves in a situation to be a good football team. It excites me. We need these kind of matchups.
Starting the season out against a division opponent, we know how important that game is. What is your mindset going into this game, and what are you looking forward to seeing from this football team?
Yeah, I think for me it's about the guys knowing what they can count on from each other. You know better than all of us. When you know what you're going to get out of this guy that plays next to you, that's when we start to create the personality of the team. you know, and I'm excited to see a group of safeties play together, a group of inside linebackers, Josie and Shaq, play together, you know, Ashawn playing with Shai and Derek, Jadavian on the edge. And then I'm also excited to see our style of play become who we are. That's really the biggest goal. If we can capture the style of our football team and the things we're looking for, great effort, great enthusiasm, great toughness, playing smart, and finish, and crazy about that football. If we can just do those things, we're going to be really tough to deal with. And so going into this first week, it's our first opportunity, full strength, to get out there and to see that come alive.
One of the things you put such an emphasis on going into the season was wanting to run, and that being a part of this team's DNA. You go out early in free agency, Robert Hunt, Damian Lewis, Austin Corbett inside, and Chuba Hubbard. Talk about what that group has shown you through training camp in terms of being ready to be kind of the foundation of an offense.
Attitude, toughness, communication, all those things. You bring experienced players inside in the interior three. Communication happens inside out. Starts with the center, goes to the guard, the tackles, out to the tight ends. And counting on those guys to be great communicators so we're all on the same page, that gives us our best chance to play fast. And, you know, TD talked about attitude. You're not going to see attitude unless you know what you're doing and you come out with a mentality. You know, breaking the huddle is a big thing. Things that we're still pushing these guys on. Hey, guys, I will know we've captured it by how you come out of the huddle. That intent that you have, the energy that you have approaching the line of scrimmage, like I got a plan and I got something you got to deal with. Those things come from confidence. It all started inside with our group and then we build it. Chuba, the style of runner, exactly right. Downhill, go get the yards that are there. It's up to you after that. Get all the yards that are blocked for, and then it's up to you after that. Miles Sanders, the things that he can do in and out of the backfield. I'm so excited to see Miles. The focus Miles has come into this training camp with, and just in the best shape of his life. He's looked great the whole time. He's looked fast. He's looked aggressive. He knows a bunch of different run schemes, so I feel great about throwing all these things at him. So I'm really excited about this group.
Coach, and one last kid that I'm very excited about watching play in his first game, and I don't know what point he's going to actually go in, but I know, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to utilize him in some ways, Trevin Wallace. You know, just being able to watch this kid coming out of Kentucky, and even while he was at Kentucky, my daughter actually went to the University of Kentucky while he was in school. So I was kind of following that program a little bit and got to see that kid play a lot. Just natural ability to go out and execute and make plays. What are some of the things that you guys are looking for from him this season?
Yeah, Trevin, big and fast, right? You talked about it. And then the finish, the attitude, my favorite play. One of my favorite plays in general, but for sure, Trevin, my favorite play was we were at New England in the preseason, caught a ball on the left sideline, got away from our corner. Trevin at linebacker, chases the guy down, the receiver knocks him out at the 3-yard line. And TD, you and I both know, just give us a blade of grass and we'll give us a chance to get that ball back for you. And that could have turned into now they end up scoring. But I've seen the ball get punched out at the half-yard line. I've seen 4th down stops inside the 5 that gives the offense one more chance. And with that mentality, his size and speed, the physical nature, if you can just play that hard and give us one more chance, like he showed his true colors. That's what he's about. Yeah. I'm going to finish and I'm going to use my speed to run guys down. I'm not going to give up on plays. That's a great starting point. And I think from here forward, we're just talking about scheme, confidence, communication, and all those things come together. We got a fantastic player.
TD wants to talk linebackers. Imagine that.
Of course, because I was literally about to throw another Shaq Thompson question out there, but you know.
One of the big headlines over the last week in getting ready for the Saints has been all the turnover at the cornerback position. You guys have gone out, brought in 4 brand new guys through the trade for Mike Jackson, 3 waiver claims. How ready are those guys to go out there Sunday and play, learning a new language?
About as ready as you can expect someone who just got here a week ago. So we know that these guys have a lot of scheme to learn. The bottom line is we brought 3 guys in with fantastic traits, all floating around the 6 foot to 6'1" range, all around 200 pounds with quick feet and an ability to make plays on the ball, either catch it or knock it down. Those are the traits you want to develop. We'll live with the growing pains for the traits. That's something that I learned a long time ago from Coach Carroll. play the young guys early. Let's see what we got. They'll learn and they'll get better. We'll live with the bumps and bruises, and we'll take our lumps, but we'll be better off down the road because we're developing a mentality of how to play football, a philosophy of how to play football, and also getting them together schematically.
Very good. Dave Canales, we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys joining us this week on The Huddle. For Thomas Davis, I'm Darin Gantt. Thanks.
Up next, we hit the film room with TD as he breaks down the playmakers on the New Orleans Saints.
Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, providing premier eye and ENT care to North and South Carolina.
All right, welcome back to The Huddle. We're in regular season mode now, so it's time to go to TD's film room, take a little closer look at what these Saints do.
Absolutely. There are guys that I have identified that we have to make sure that we know where these guys are at all times because they love these players. And the first player, we're going to jump right into this film, and we got to know where Chris Olave is. Chris Olave is a guy that they use in a lot of different ways, and he's right down here in this reduced formation. So when the Saints put him here, they're identifying what the defense is doing. And right now, you can see these defenders, they're pressed on them. These guys are eyes located directly on their luggage. So now what that tells the quarterback is that they're playing man coverage. Right now, you see Chris Olave stemming away from this DB, and he's a guy that they're going to try to get the ball in so many different ways. But right now, stemming away in man coverage, working away from the defender, getting down, making a tough contested catch. That's what Chris Olave brings to this Saints offense.
TD, that's chunk play right there. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that's one-on-one matchup, and Olave's a guy who can go get it.
Right. He's a guy that is a deep threat. He's intermediate. They use him all over the field. And they're going to try to give him at least 10 to 12 targets a game. And that really speaks to how good this guy is and how much confidence they have in his ability. But a mainstay and a fixture in this Saints football team has for a long time been defensively Cam Jordan. He's a guy that is a complete player, and he plays the run as well. You see him scraping down. Cam is an older guy, 10-plus years in this league. To have him in the preseason right here, scraping down the line, making sure that he secures this tackle, that shows to me that this guy absolutely loves what he does. He absolutely loves being a leader of that defense. And Cam is a guy that we have to make sure that we know where he is.
TD, what's that say when you see an old head like him running one down like that downfield in a preseason game?
It just shows you that a guy, he loves the game. He has passion for what he's doing, and he's a leader of that football team. So he's showing the younger guys, look, I'm at my age, and I'm going out here and I'm giving it all for the team right here in preseason, so you guys should be doing the same thing. And when these young guys see that from a veteran player that's been to multiple Pro Bowls, that made all-pro teams, that just speaks volumes to the level of leadership that Cam provides for this team. Next, we're going to jump right into it. This is a guy that we have to absolutely know where he is at all times, because not only will they hand him the ball out of the backfield, as we see on this play, but Alvin Kamara in this league, since he got drafted, has been a guy that they throw the ball to, they hand it to him. Don't matter where he is on the field, they're going to try to get this guy the ball because he is a game changer and a game breaker. And Alvin Kamara is a guy, if you allow him, he can become a nightmare for you defensively.
As a defensive player with a guy like Kamara, you've got to be disciplined or else he's going to turn 2 into 10, can't he?
Absolutely. He's a guy that you have to always be locked in on, because some running backs you can line up against and you know for a fact the team has no trust in throwing them the ball out of the backfield. So as a linebacker, you can play downhill immediately. But with Alvin Kamara, he's a guy that you take a false step, then he's slipping out of the backfield and down the sideline, and they have no hesitation whatsoever in throwing him the football. So these guys have to be locked in on where he is at all times, because not only do they give it to him out of the backfield, they line him up in the slot and they utilize him with the option routes because they trust his hands that much.
Welcome back to the Huddle. It's time for the Coch 3 Keys. TD, tell us what they got to do.
Listen, my Coch 3 keys are simple to this game. Number 3, we have to make sure that we control the line of scrimmage. We have to win that battle up front, offensively and defensively, by limiting their production to run the football, while also making sure that we're able to run the ball comfortably when we want to and when we have to. My number 2 key for this game is also simple. You have to control the production of Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. If you allow those guys to have great games against you, it usually doesn't bode well for the teams that the Saints are facing. So we have to limit their production. And my number 1 key for this game is to make Derek Carr uncomfortable. Force him to throw you the football. Force him to be uncomfortable in the pocket. If we are able to go down and do those things, we will end up exactly what we want to be as a football team with those 3 keys.
Sounds like a plan. We appreciate you, TD. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us this week on The Huddle. I'm Darin Gantt. Thanks to Dave Canales for joining us earlier. Tune in next week when an actual TV host will be here, along with this guy.
Hey, and remember, keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.